Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Game Day Picks. This is Week 10. I'm Luke Spencer.
And I'm Roch Egan.
Roch, we went on a bye week last week, but we did still make our picks. We just didn't record them. How did you do last week?
I actually did pretty well, and as a matter of fact, even the week before Week 8, obviously they weren't. Our wonderful fans didn't get to know our Week 8 results. I went 11-5 Week 8, 10-4 Week 9. That pulls me up to 70-66. I feel like I'm catching you now, Luke.
Yeah, you are catching up. We had a little bit of a gap between us for the last few weeks, but I went 5-9 last week. Definitely not happy with that. My worst week by far. Puts me at 78-58 going into Week 10 here. So let's get into these picks.
Yeah, I got to start off here. Thursday night, we got the Browns and the Panthers going at it. Look, typically when you think of a good game, it's not between a 1-7 team, or I'm sorry, the Bears. I said Browns. My apologies. The Bears and the Panthers. Typically when you think of a good game, it's not a 1-7 team and a 2-7 team, but I think this game could be close. I'm going Panthers because they look better off in the one-on-one matchups. I think if Young has time, maybe he can make something happen, but we got two very young quarterbacks, and I think this could get interesting.
Yeah, I'm going with the Panthers too. I'm kind of disappointed that this game is on primetime TV. We've got two rookie quarterbacks, Bryce Young versus Tyson Bagent. Both of them threw 3 interceptions last week. Both teams lost. You can flip a coin here, but I'm going Panthers.
All right, Luke. This possibly might be the game of the year for both of us right here. You're a Patriots fan. Myself, I'm an individual with common sense. We're going head-to-head. Colts-Patriots, who do you got here?
You know I have to go with the Patriots. They're 2-7, but they need a win desperately, and I think they're going to get it here. They're playing in Germany, Frankfurt, and I think they're going to adjust to the time difference better than the Colts will.
Again, I love the international series going here. You already know I'm going Colts. They're the favorite team. They have the better team. They're coming off a hot win last week. This is setting up for an easy win. Send the Patriots back to the States crying. All right, Texans, Bengals. Who do you got here?
I've got the Bengals here, and I'm expecting a close but a high-scoring game. C.J. Stroud, the Texans' rookie quarterback, threw 5 touchdowns last week, but the Bengals look just as good. They've got a big win over the Bills.
I'm going to have to agree with you. The Bengals have really frustrated me so far this year. I think they're doing great, and I pick them, then they lose, so I don't pick them, and then they beat the Bills last week, one of the best teams in the league. So I'm confident that they can pull this one out here. I think that it'll definitely be a mental challenge for C.J. Stroud to keep up with this veteran Bengals team. All right, Saints-Vikings. I'm going Saints here. I've been impressed with Derek Carr so far this year. I think he's done a good job of controlling his offense, and the Vikings obviously facing some adversity. So I'm going to go Saints.
I'm going with the Vikings here. Vikings quarterback Josh Dobbs was traded from the Cardinals midway through last week. Didn't know any of the plays, got thrown in when the original backup got injured last week, and he got the win over the Falcons. I think they're going to keep it rolling this week because Dobbs now has some time to learn the offense.
All right, let's talk Packers, Steelers. What are you thinking here?
I've got the Steelers here. Their offense looked pretty good last week on Thursday Night Football, and they've got good home field advantage in this game. They have the momentum after that win versus Tennessee last week.
I'm going to have to go Packers. Look, I think that Love still needs to find himself. I think this could be the game that he gets this done. Steelers safety Micah Fitzpatrick is questionable. What are your thoughts on that? Will he play?
You never know. Safety, it's a tough position when you've got injuries like that, but I really think that if Minka wants to be on the field, he's going to be on the field.
Alrighty, Titans, Bucks. What are your thoughts on this one?
I've got the Buccaneers here. They're due for a win. They played well last week, but C.J. Stroud just played better. It is worth noting the Titans are starting Will Levis at quarterback now, the rookie. He's played well in his first 2 games, but I think the Bucs and Baker Mayfield's experience are going to trump that here.
I'm going to have to go Titans. Look, the Bucs just have not been consistent enough for me this year, and I think that Baker Mayfield has been okay, but not consistent. I don't trust him. As you mentioned, new rookie quarterback for the Titans, so I think that they'll rely a lot on Derrick Henry this week. I'm going Titans. All right, 49ers, Jaguars. This is an easy pick for me. I've got to go with the 49ers. Look, I think this game's going to come down to defense. Got the 49ers with the 7th ranked defense in the league so far this year. I think they can stop Trevor Lawrence from moving too much, but I can't say the same from the Jags. They just don't have the defense to hold Purdy and McCaffrey all game.
I'm going with the Jaguars here. The Niners are in a bit of a slump. They're dealing with some of their guys being banged up. They've lost a few games here in the past few weeks. The Jags are coming off a bye week, and they're going to get this win at home.
All right, let's move on to Browns-Ravens. Who do you got here?
I've got the Browns here. This Browns defense has been looking amazing. They're lethal, and the Ravens are not a good passing offense. I think if the Browns can stop the run with Myles Garrett, they'll get the win here because Deshaun Watson, their quarterback, has been steadily improving. He had a good week last week.
Myles Garrett, we'll get onto him just a little bit later. I'm going to go Ravens. Look, the Ravens, this should be 2 pretty easy wins in a row for them, in my opinion. I think Q's prediction is looking good so far. The Ravens have been definitely a powerhouse this season, and I think they're going to continue this week. All right, let's go Falcons-Cardinals. I got to go Falcons. I mean, at this point, I don't think the Cardinals really care. I think they're going for set some kind of record this year, so I'm going to go Falcons.
Yeah, easy pick here. I'm going with the Falcons as well. The Cardinals are the worst team in the NFL. There's no doubt about it.
One quick thing to mention, the spread on this game is -0.5 point for the Falcons.
Yeah, seems like an easy bet there. It's free money.
All right, Lions-Chargers. Look, I watched the Chargers Monday night against the Jets, and, I mean, they made the Jets their puppet, moving the ball at ease. They only kept them to 6 points. So I think that with the home field advantage, they can edge out this really good 6-2 Lions team. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm going with the Lions here. This Chargers offense, it did look good last week, but it is depleted with some injuries. Josh Palmer, the wide receiver, is on IR. Mike Williams is on IR. And this Lions team is healthy and well-rested coming off a bye week, so I think they're going to get the win.
Giants-Cowboys. What are your thoughts on this one?
I've got the Cowboys, and I think I may never pick the Giants again this year. I think they're down there with the Cardinals with the worst teams in the league, and the Cowboys did lose to the Eagles last week, but I think they'll get back on track with an easy win here.
That was a really good game to watch last week. So, yeah, I think the Cowboys maybe have lost a little bit of steam, but this is what they need to get rolling again. They play the Giants this week. They got the Panthers next week, then the Commanders. I think they might go 3 straight here. Speaking of crazy spreads, -16.5.
Yeah, and I still think the Cowboys are going to cover.
All right. Commanders-Seahawks. Look, the Seahawks played a horrible game last week. I think that they have the opportunity here to bounce back. I think the Commanders have been good. I think the 5-3 Seahawks, though, this will be a good bounce-back game from the Ravens last week. What are your thoughts?
I agree with you 100%. The Seahawks were embarrassed last week. They only scored 3 points against the Ravens, gave up plus 35. They need to have a big game offensively here, and I think they will.
All right, let's go Jets-Raiders. What are your thoughts on this one, Luke?
I've got the Raiders here. Max Crosby, the star Raiders defensive end, needs to be a difference maker on defense to make up for the inexperience of rookie Aiden O'Connell at quarterback.
All right, I'm in 100% agreement with that. I think the Raiders should have a pretty easy time beating this. The Jets got humiliated on Monday Night Football. I'm going Raiders. All right, now on to Monday Night Football. We got Broncos-Bills. Bills had me worrying last week after that loss to the Bengals, but the Broncos, I just don't see them as a top-tier team, as a competitor in the league right now, so I think that this could be another blowout here on Monday Night Football. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, like you said, the Bills have struggled a lot lately, actually. Definitely not what we expected from them coming into the season, but this Broncos team is a game where they can easily win. Okay, so that will do it for our picks, but we do have a special segment here at the end. If you've been here, been watching with us since the first week, you know that we made our MVP, Offensive Defensive Player of the Year, and Rookie of the Year predictions in Week 1, and we are now halfway through the year. So we're going to be looking back on our predictions and possibly changing them up, possibly sticking with them now that we are halfway through the year. So starting off with our MVP predictions, Roch, who do you have? Do you have the same person? Do you change it up?
So I had Josh Allen at the beginning of the year, and I don't think that he's completely out of the question, but I got to go Lamar Jackson. I mean, he has really led this Ravens team to an incredible season so far. I think that he will continue to do it. So Lamar Jackson is my new pick for MVP.
I'm going with Jalen Hurts. I had Joe Burrow at the beginning of the year, and through the first 3 weeks, that looked like the worst aged pick in the history of the world. But he has turned it around a little bit. Still don't think he can win MVP. Jalen Hurts, he's led the Eagles to the best record in the league so far, so definitely a safe pick there. Offensive Player of the Year. At the beginning of the year, I had Stephon Diggs. Diggs is having a pretty good year. He's top 5 in the league in receiving yards, but I'm also going to change my pick here to Tyreek Hill, Dolphins wide receiver. He's leading the league in receiving yards and touchdowns so far.
I was thinking Tyreek Hill. He's been a really good competitor, and he's got a great offense with him. But I picked Christian McCaffrey first week. I'm sticking with Christian McCaffrey now here going into Week 10. I'm confident in his talent. The 49ers have also been a powerhouse this year.
What about Defensive Player of the Year, Roch?
Defensive Player of the Year, I started with Micah Parsons, which would have been a safe pick there. I'm switching to Myles Garrett. Look, he's had an incredible year so far with 9.5 sacks, over 188 passing attempts. I mean, it's just hard to cover him rushing from the edge.
Yeah, Myles Garrett is a good pick. I also had Micah Parsons at the beginning of the year, but I'm going to switch to TJ Watt, Steelers defensive end. He has 9.5 sacks so far, and he's one of the few bright spots on this Steelers team so far this year. Rookie of the Year is up next. Offensive Rookie of the Year. I had Bijan Robinson at the beginning of the year. Disappointed that he's not getting as many touches as I thought he would in that Falcons offense. I'm switching my pick to C.J. Stroud, Texans rookie quarterback out of Ohio State. He has 14 touchdowns and 1 interception so far through the first 9 weeks.
Certainly impressive numbers. My Week 1 prediction was Bryce Young with the Panthers. We can see how that's gone, 1-7 so far. So I'm switching this up to Puka Nacua. Look, he's a 5th-round pick, and he's crushed the competition. He's setting records for rookie receiving yards, and even with Cooper Kupp back, he's still putting up some big numbers. Puka Nacua is going to be my new Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Roch, who do you got for Defensive Rookie of the Year?
Week 1, I went Devon Witherspoon, and I think I'm going to keep it that way. Look, he missed Week 1 and then came back out on fire. I just don't think that teams know what to do with him.
I've got Will Anderson here. I'm also keeping my pick from Week 1. Anderson, only 2 sacks so far. Not terrible for a rookie, but I think he's posed to have a big second half of the year here. So that will do it for Game Day Picks Week 10. I'm Luke Spencer.
And I'm Roch Egan.
And we will see you guys next week.